I strongly believe that our gifts and talents, all of our abilities, have been given to us by a loving Heavenly Father so that He can connect with us and so that we can have opportunities to connect with Him. And it's been my experience that our talents act as channels or conduits to bridge the gap between heaven and earth. And when we fully embrace and utilize our gifts and talents in our lives, it will connect us and others personally to the divine. And when we have those personal moments in God's presence, we are refined, we're encouraged, and we're protected. And so it is my belief that our gifts and talents are really inseparable from faith. So, a little back history. I have always loved God. My baptism at 8 was very, very meaningful to me. I've always felt loved by God, even in my worst moments. And from a young age, I diligently, read my scriptures. I loved serving and being a part of leadership opportunities. I was serious about my commitment to God and really just an old soul. However, when I entered into adulthood, I found myself in a community that seemed really superficial, which took a toll on me. I felt drained, as if the authenticity of life was being replaced by these mere formalities and surface level interactions. And this period was really challenging for me. And it led me to this moment of introspection. And I reflected on who I was, who I had become. And in that moment, I reached out to God. And I simply wanted to feel brand new again, to rediscover that genuine connection that I had had with Him. And these lyrics were the plea of that turning point for me, where I was ready to renew my relationship with Him. So my love for songwriting came later in life. Initially, I just considered myself a vocalist. I had tried to write some secular music, but it was like pulling teeth trying to write what it seemed like people wanted, especially in a world where the ideals and behaviors were ones I didn't necessarily connect with or have interest in. So the turning point really came when I had a conversation with Dan Truman, who's a seasoned musician and songwriter. And he offered me some invaluable advice during this pivotal period of time when I was really struggling. And he suggested that to understand myself as an artist, the best way to do that is to write my own material. And it was really what I needed to hear, because I had spent my life doing cover songs, trying to perfect vocals from top artists, sing the top hits, and I didn't know who I was as an artist or creator. So I was really encouraged by his words, and I hung up the phone and I started to pray for inspiration to discover and understand, without any preconceived notions of audience, what God wanted me doing, wanted me writing, and how He wanted me using this. And it unlocked this really natural flow of creativity. And it was then that I discovered my love and genuine excitement for songwriting. And Dan was right. I realized who I was as an artist through this process. And although, songwriting isn't always this immediate flow of inspiration, I was stepping into my authentic self, the one who God had designed me to be. And that has paved its way to many opportunities. Howard Thurman captures this idea beautifully when he said, "Don't ask yourself what the world needs. Ask yourself what makes you come alive, and go do that." Because what the world needs is people who have come alive. It's my testimony that when we take on God's name, we come alive in Him. And all our talents and gifts come alive. And so we need to trust in that process. And through it, we will love it.